Getting right into it, we start with one full sun salutation to heat up our body. Reaching all the way up, back extension, fold forward, looking up, jumping back into plank, slow lower, chaturanga, press, up dog, and push away, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, jump or step to the front of your mat, and then we're just coming down onto all fours to take some cat-cows, taking it at your own pace. Breathing in, bending the back, breathing out, pushing everything up and arching. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, really opening up the chest. Breathing out, curving the spine. Breathing in, out through the mouth. Then just taking a seat down onto your knees as we stretch out our wrists, lacing the fingertips, moving them around, stretching out our neck, back and forth. Then onto all fours, we bring one leg up, align with your two front hands. Gently bring your hands straight up above you and arch the back. Looking forward with your chin up towards the sky. Then gently pushing that hip out, starting to open up. Only what's comfortable for you. Frame the foot, bring both in between, folding forward as your knee goes more deeply out towards the opposite side. Gently pushing back up into plank, switching the leg, same thing other side, reaching up, elongating the spine, chin up, gazing towards the sky. Plant the palms, pushing out and looking up, opening up the hip. Both palms come down onto your forearms. Deeper stretch here, releasing any tension. Just relax into it. Then you push back into plank, up dog, pedal out the feet, breathing, catching your breath, slowing it down, jumping or stepping up to the front of your mat, fold forward, elongate the spine, then fold forward, all the way up, palms together, hands to heart, all the way up, fold forward, halfway up, back extension, fold forward, breathing out, jump back into plank, slow lower, press, up dog, push away, downward facing dog. Now bringing the right leg up, keeping the hips aligned, straight behind you. And now we'd let it out, bending the knee, turning the hip outwards. Release, relax into it. Surrender. Straighten it back out, realign. Back, downward facing dog. Switching legs, other side, straight behind you. Pointing the toes. Hands firmly planted. Then bending the knee, letting the hips sway outwards, feeling the stretch. Straighten it back, realign, and release to downward dog. slowly into plank and release it all the way to the upward facing dog. Breathe out, push back, downward facing dog. Flowing to upward facing dog. Flowing, downward facing dog. Flowing, upward facing dog. Back, downward facing dog. Deeper now. Shifting weight into upward facing dog. Shift back. And shift forward. Connecting to your body. Feeling the air. Shift forward. And then gently release. Cobra. Then pressing up slowly. Full upward facing dog. Push back, downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet. Sink down onto your knees. Reaching one shoulder underneath. Opening up our shoulders now. Finding comfort in this. Switching the other arm underneath. Releasing. Head resting on the ground. Then coming onto all fours, we're stretching out the wrists, bringing them forwards, backwards, side to side, moving in the opposite directions, whatever feels good for you. Then coming up onto our knees, we're reaching one arm back to our heels, and the other arm back to the other heel, into a full camel pose. Chin up, looking towards the sky. Maybe bringing one arm all the way up, getting deeper into the back bend. Really opening up our chest and our throat chakra here. Heart opening. Chest elongating. Maybe taking some variations if you can go deeper into this pose. Both hands on the heels. Feeling comfort. Then going back into our upward facing dog, possibly bending our knees here into another back bend and chest opener. Then releasing onto our stomachs. Grabbing hold of the back of our feet and lifting up into our bow pose. Breathing, lifting, elongating the spine. Gently release, and then come back up into it, or if you can, flip the grip and go up into an even more advanced back bend. Maybe trying some other variations here. Still remembering to breathe. Then gently release. Allow your forehead to come to the mat or the ground. Press back up into plank. Push back, downward facing dog, pedaling out the feet. Bend the knees, jump forward, forward fold, come up halfway, elongating, fully fold forward, then reaching all the way back up, and sealing hands to heart. Taking a few deep breaths to ground ourselves here, before we take some deeper hip openers, crossing the right leg over the left knee. Sinking down with your hands in prayer, finding balance, stillness, openness, comfort, releasing both hands to the floor, really feeling the stretch here, allowing it, and if you can, finding the balance to press up into a one-legged crow variation here. Getting deep into that stretch, we just sit back and find comfort, keeping our palms together, feeling balanced and centered, releasing any tension, any worries, only focusing on your practice here and now. Then support yourself as you push it back up and fold forward. Elongate the spine, fold forward, and reach all the way back up. Release. Other side, hands to heart center, crossing over the left knee. Sink down, hands in prayer, maybe setting that knee onto the foot, or releasing both hands to the ground as we find balance here and press up, straightening out that back knee if you can, or keeping it bent just for a second. Great job. Then sitting all the way back as we lower, getting deeper into our hip. Breathing, calming the body, really feeling and allowing any of the tightness, knowing that what you're doing is healing your body. Breathing deeply, and then gently into a seated position, fold forward, not judging yourself for how far you can go. Maybe taking hold of your toes, or resting your hands on your knees. Noticing as your body releases tension and folds deeper now than it was able to at the beginning of our practice. Releasing any stress, any worries, any tension. Then lying completely flat on our back, bringing one knee up to chest, hands crossed over your knee, grabbing hold of your toe and stretching out our hamstrings here, only pulling as hard as is comfortable. If you can, taking some bow pose variations here. Breathing into it, finding comfort. Gently and slowly release as we bring our other knee to chest, fingers laced over the front of the knee. Then grabbing hold of your foot, pulling it gently, feeling and releasing tension. Breathing deeply, completely immersed in the present moment. And as we slowly release, breathing out and bringing both knees to chest. Grabbing hold of your two big toes with your peace fingers, we come into happy baby, both knees bent, maybe straightening one and the other, rocking back and forth, not judging yourself, just allowing the openness. feeling thankful for our abilities to move our bodies freely. Maybe straightening out both, if that's comfortable for you. Really feeling into any tension, and still remembering to breathe. Fully releasing, we come up to do some deeper hip openers, more advanced here. Bringing our knee behind our head, straightening out the leg. Only coming as high as you can, not forcing anything, as we only do this to cultivate more stillness and peace. Switching over to the other side, bringing that leg behind, not forcing anything, but finding that good balance of pushing ourselves and feeling the tightness so we can release the tightness. Laying all the way back and bringing our knees over top of our heads, crossing the ankles if you can. This pose is so relaxing once your hips are open enough for it. If not, just doing your best to maybe come up into a chin stand, or just taking some more happy babies. Completely relaxed, present, energized, yet calm. Gently release as we bring our knees to chest and roll back and forth on our lumbar spine. As many times as feels good for you. Then bringing our knees together, one side looking out towards the opposite way. Other side, hand out looking opposite way. Finding comfort as we relax into the discomfort, as this is where the healing takes place. One more time, knees to chest. Slowly come back up onto all fours, then press back into plank as we bring one knee up and sink down into lying pigeon pose, reaching up, opening up the chest, then folding forward, finding comfort in the discomfort. Building on our ability to have patience and stillness and resilience on and off the mat. Still remembering to breathe, focusing on the breath. Slowly press back up into plank, switching to the other side, making sure your knee and your heel are at a 90-degree angle, or letting it be about 30 degrees if that's more comfortable for you. Fold completely forward and release everything. Allow the forehead to be supported by the ground. Then slowly we push back up into plank, slow lower chaturanga, press, upward dog, push away, downward dog. Holding, stepping one leg up, coming in to warrior one, turning it out into warrior two. Breathing, finding stillness, and allowing our elbow onto that knee, taking it out into a fully extended side angle pose, and tilting it back with your other arm, reaching all the way up, looking up towards the sky, peaceful warrior. Hand on the back of the shin, other arm reaching up, elongating. Then gently framing the foot, shift it back into downward dog, and bring the other knee up, warrior one. Finding your balance, turning it out into warrior two, front heel in line with the arch of your back foot. Everything straight, gazing out towards your fingertips. Extended warrior. Breathing. Taking it back. Peaceful warrior. Gazing up. Gently release as we turn both our toes out forward in a straddle and fold all the way down as deep as you can go. Maybe not bringing our feet too far apart so that we can fold as deep as we can, or bringing them out as far as you can to feel a stretch. Crossing opposite hands over opposite elbows. Then bringing our feet a bit closer together and sinking down into our yogi squat, palms together, elbows resting on our knees, maybe shifting the weight back and forth, finding strength and stability, finding comfort, and really opening up our hips even more. Then shifting the weight over to one side into a deep side lunge, possibly taking a bind if you have the balance here, really sinking low, looking up, feeling the openness, and shifting over to the other side, looking up, taking a bind, breathing into it, and releasing tension. Palms together, shift back, maybe staying a bit higher in this pose so we can shift right back to the other side. One more time. Palms pressing together. Shifting. And straight back into that straddle forward fold. Opposite arms crossed over opposite elbows. And then coming with our feet together once again to our forward fold. Reaching all the way up, back extension. Meeting with our palms at heart center. Then sitting down. One more time, knees to chest, and then release completely as we enter Shavasana. Giving thanks to yourself for allowing yourself this time to practice and be present and be still. Namaste.